You're giving advice right now, and like some people on the other side right now are gonna do the scary version of it and be in jail.
You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy?
Hey everybody, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. New interview session right now with Josh York. Let me say this simple. There's a single reason this episode is happening, and it's called perseverance. I am a big fan, of telling a lot of you right now to DM 100, like every day, all I hear is complaining. I read it all day. My life is garbage these days. All I do is read complaining. And there's so much solutions in an internet world that it just makes me like, I'm so passionate, if you're listening right now, for people to know how in control you actually are with the internet. Because the internet doesn't know what school you went to, where you came from, what your family's last name is. It's just a platform. And so when I say my hyperbole of like, hey, just DM 100 people that you want to work for, or just make content for somebody and show 100%. Them, just take it. I mean it. 4,000 will say no, but 4,001 says yes. And isn't that better than the shit job you have? Everyone's like, I want to live my dream. I'm like, wouldn't you? If I told you you would 100% have your dream come true, if you actually DM'd on Instagram 4,001 people, I would argue almost everybody would do that logically. It's just that you don't believe me when I say it. And so the reason I really wanted Josh on the show is he just basically outwilled me to be on this show. And then when I sat down with him, I did some speech in the Upper East or West Side, and then we had a coffee or lunch, and basically that's all he's ever really done. And very honestly, he's here for his selfish wants and needs of exposure, which is right. All humans are right in a good way. I'm here selfishly because I think me setting up this podcast and telling you how we even got on it. Now, what's going to happen next is 8,000 of you are going to bug the shit out of me. And I'll tell you right now, 7,999 of you will never be here. It took, serendipity, moments in time, and the fact that he's actually built something, which is an important part of this story. But for there to be no confusion, there's one selfish reason he's on this show, which is every one of you can have the business, the job, the show you want to be on if you actually understand how to ask. I do think that there's a fine line between annoyance. There's so many people bugging the living shit out of me actively right now. There are thousands of people bothering me with the way they're emailing me. My favorite is when you email me 97 times in a row, thinking that's gonna, what happens is my admins delete it, and then the IT department blocks your email and anything to associate with you in perpetuity. So there's the right way to jab. There's the right way to have, listen, the perfect balance of persistence and charm is very difficult. It is a natural, innate thing. But here's what I will say. If you try to figure out how to bring value to somebody and you persevere, I really do think there's a play here. And honestly, to be very frank, I think Josh built a really meaningful business. I'm not in a mindset of investing now. I'd rather buy sports cards than invest in companies. But even though it wasn't a perfect execution for me of I'm getting this value, then let me have him on the podcast, it was so important for me to have an actual human manifestation of the thing that I want all of you to do out there, which is look, if you want to be a rapper, a producer for rap, go ask 47,000 times Metro Boomin, Sunny Digital, Murder Beat, just fucking ask. Ask. Now, if you know how to ask with grace, it's gonna work better. If you know how to reverse engineer the person of what they care about at this moment, if somebody has a new album coming out and they're your favorite rapper, Young Nudy has an album out today. If Nudy's your guy, you could have made 25 pieces of content if you're that person, and sent it DM to him to help him post on his social channels, because everybody needs more content. And then that might have been the reason you got the job. So there's a cadence to it. There's one huge setup, because I'm going to let Josh talk most of the rest of the way, of why he's here. And that's it. That's fucking it. What's up, bro?
Not much. Listen, first off, I want to say is that the value is definitely coming your way.
Okay, good.
And I'm telling you right now, not to be ballsy, but this is going to go down as the greatest podcast you've ever done. The content is going to be pouring through this microphone. I'm telling you that right now.
I believe you.
Because my story is incredible. I've done it bootstrapped, as I like to refer to it, with a shoe dog in it. I've done it bootstrapped. Today, we are the fastest growing in the fitness space. We're disrupting the entire fitness industry. And in 15, 20 years, just like I know you're going to own the Jets, and I know why you're going to own it, because you already own it in your head. I'm the same guy as you. I know exactly how you
Just
think.
help everybody who hears that. Why do so many people have it in their head and it doesn't happen? What's the disconnect between having it in your head and it actually happening from your perspective?
Yeah, well, first of all, everyone wants the gold. But people just say, you know what, I'll settle for the silver. People don't actually cross the finish line. People, I heard...
Why?
Number one...
From your perspective, one man's point of view.
Well, first of all, you said something the other day that I was just watching that I love. People fold like cheap chairs. I believe business is 80% mindset. 80% mindset. I always put myself in the most uncomfortable situations. Like, just so
Why?
everyone knows, I'm going to tell you why. Because putting yourself in uncomfortable situations allows you to get comfortable. This has been going on 4 years. But I never stop. And you're just talking about a story, and I'll share a really great story. So when I first started my company, it's Gym Guys with a Z, but I needed the S. Why? Because no one knew the brand yet, and I knew people are going to go to the S rather than the Z.
Gym Guys, the S at the end of guys.
It's with a Z now.
I know
but,
it is.
Yes, but I needed the S because in the beginning of starting, most people won't think like this.
I get it.
People are going to come to that site, and I'm going to lose business.
Of course.
So this guy, Al, shout out to my man Al, he's in Colorado. He was selling the website for $48,000. I was lucky if I had 48 cents in my pocket. So what I did was I literally Googled, looked up the domain, went on his site, and I called him once, twice, hang up. We're like 50 times in now. I was like, you know what? I got his address. I'm going to go to his house. I book a flight to Colorado. I go to his house.
Before we go anywhere else, Josh,
Yeah.
how many times have you been in jail?
Never.
Good, I love it. So
Never.
this, even though you're stalking, you're doing it in a tasteful way that doesn't scare
Hey,
people.
listen,
because people are scary.
Yeah, but I'm not scary, man.
No, but you're giving advice right now, and like some people on the other side right now are going to do the scary version of it and
Yeah.
be in jail. So
Yeah.
like it's important for you to break down.
100%,
I'm being
100%.
serious. You agree
Yeah,
with me, right?
I agree with you.
Like people go to fucking jail.
100%.
And you
100%.
have a better tact than that. And I think actually, for no shits, you have to figure out some of the subtleness in that because some people are just like some people will run through this glass door instead of opening it, and in that is the punchline.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So anyway,
You went to the fucking guy's house.
Went to his house, knock on his door, no one's there. I'm like, all right, I'll come back later. No one's there. I'm like, gee, I'm in a rural area.
Yeah.
So just with like eyesight, you see the house down, all the way down, like probably like a mile away. Knock on the door, chances are, do you know Al? Oh, he's away with his family this week. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I write a note, leave it to his neighbor, go to his house, leave a note. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from Al. And he goes, this is actually crazy now that you're stalking me. I said, Al, listen, I'm not stalking you. Can you not feel my passion dripping through your phone? I said, I'm going to build the largest fitness brand in the world. The chances of that not happening, you got a higher probability of seeing elephants fly. On the 71st time, he gave me the site for free. Mic drop, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to just, if you believe in something
Josh,
so
on some
much.
real shit, because I think this is my podcast, and all I think about is the listeners and how do I bring them value. I'm
100%.
pumped that you're going to get this awareness and people are going to love you and all that. I mean that.
Yep.
I think you know me well enough at this
Yep,
point.
I do.
I really do mean that. I'm excited for that to be good for you. I'm passionate about them.
Yes.
So what there's so many people that I can't wait to put restraining orders on because there's a lot of people that do this wrong.
100%.
I'm serious. Like, let's really spend some,
Okay.
before we go into, like, we'll find time for
Yeah.
your part in this, straight up on some real shit.
Yep.
What do you think allows you to go that hard and get things done where 99, I'm going to say it again, 99% of the people don't, and end up in really weird spaces where they get in trouble, they get restraining orders, they lose their way. They like, what do you think in your tact? Like,
well-
you know where I'm going, right? Because there's a
think-
real bad
yes.
version of you.
So, yeah.
And I know a lot of those
get it.
people.
Uh-huh.
I've had those people. I know unlimited people that have those people. And those people really lose because it's not just going to jail or restraining order. You get a reputation amongst winners and then you're blacklisted.
100%.
How do you feel like you've been able to, what's your gut tell you on that? You may not even know the answer.
No, I
but
do.
what's
I
your-
do.
okay.
I think every business in general, everyone's in the people business. I think the number one most important thing is
100%
relationships.
agreed.
And if you don't have, like, I know you and I connected right away. Even when we met 2 years ago in Vegas, I knew we had a connection.
Yep.
But I didn't go crazy and keep calling you because I knew that was the wrong play. Originally, I don't even know if you know, I sent Tyler, I shipped you a tire. And
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and I wrote my driving intensity
Yes, I
will leave
remember.
tread marks all over your
Yes.
floor. And I know no one ever shipped you a tire. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'll start with something really out there.
No, I remember Tyler came in. He's like, dude, did you meet some guy in Vegas? I was like, yeah, I met him in a side room. Good guy, bald dude. This is literally what I said. He's like,
Did
he
you
shipped-
say handsome?
I didn't say that. I said bald dude. I said, I remember this moment like it was yesterday. He's like, he sent a tire. I'm like, throw it away, and went on my day.
Yeah.
But that's an important part of the story.
100% is important.
Because that actually happened. Smart little move. Tyler comes in. I'm like, fuck that, dude. I don't want to fucking throw it away.
Yep.
I'm like, I know what he's doing because I know.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
I'm like, throw that fucking... Now, here's real truth, and this is why everybody has to hear this because I'm obsessed with this episode bringing value. The only reason I told him to throw it away was when he asked. This is not a joke. Know this. Anybody that you're desperate to meet is busy and is a firefighter.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So Tyler asked me a different moment where like a meeting got canceled and I weirdly had 2 minutes to myself.
100%.
I would have like looked at it.
Yep.
I would have loved it. He asked me, I don't remember this part. Inevitably, when a client fired us, when I had a problem with like an employee, right? I was
100%.
not in the right mindset to have that 100th of a second. That is actually real life. Real life. I FaceTimed somebody on Snapchat the other day for 5 minutes. They want a Twitter thing with me.
Right.
He said when I posted him I had the 90 Second Club for like 2 seconds this year. He posted it, or I posted it, and he said he had 800 friends reach out to him, like just whatever the number was, a lot. And they're like, oh my God, you got 5 minutes with Gary Vee. I've watched every piece of content of his for 4 years, 2 years, 9 years, all these stories. And he told me on the FaceTime, he goes, I'm embarrassed because I'd only discovered you 40 days earlier. And I was like, man, that's so how life is, right? This guy discovered me 40 days earlier, and he gets this 5 minutes where there's people who are listening right now who've like been following me for 6 years, have desperately looked for 5 minutes, and it hasn't happened. Because that's real life. That's not I'm a bad guy. That's not you're unlucky. We have to wrap our head around serendipity and look for the moments. Keep going.
But let me tell you something.
Please.
I'm a big believer, and I know you're down with this. I think visualization is a very big important component of success. Like I believe you have to. Like I've visioned this. Like I've actually seen this, and I've obsessed over it. Just like again, we'll go back to the Jets. I know for a fact that you're going to own the Jets because I know you're obsessed with it. You have to be so obsessed, but not to the point where it's crazy.
You scare the fuck out of people.
Yeah, where you scare people. It's got to be calculated.
Have you ever scared anybody?
No, never, man.
I believe
Absolutely
you.
not.
Well, some people are funny the other way. Some people are scared by me, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm not.
No,
even.
you're a nice guy, man. You're great.
So, all right.
But so you have
now
to.
You have the S.
You have So I have the S. Got the website. It's great, and
Tell everybody the model because I think the model's interesting because I think it's
So-
a replicatable model for some hustlers listening.
absolutely. So
It's a franchisee business.
It's a franchise business, right?
But there's no physical locations.
No location, no
There's a
brick and
van.
mortar. It's a van. We bring the workout to you. Home office, pool, park, place of worship. You want to work out in the closet. We want to do a VaynerMedia workout. We literally bring all the equipment right to you. I will give you lifetime free sessions just because I'm going to provide more value to you. I'll let my team work out your whole crew in here for free. For free. That's on record.
Understood.
That's number one. Number two, we literally bring the workout anywhere. Okay, we're disrupting the fitness industry. Right now, we are literally the fastest growing in the fitness space. You think of like
Well, it makes sense, right? Like if somebody wants to buy these other gym franchises, I assume
it's like $1 million investment.
Right.
$500,000.
And how much is it for-
to one territory? $80,000.
And how big is a territory?
It's 100,000 people. So you're gonna
Got
get in that territory. You're gonna get 10,000 approved households
I see.
over a certain median income.
I see. And what is that level?
So it's really based on obviously the demographics of the
Right,
area,
'cause Alabama might be
psychographics,
different than
Alabama,
yeah,
could
of
be,
course,
it's
of course.
cost of living and all that. But I started this with $15,000 bootstrapped.
How did you know to do franchisor? Had you seen that model? Did you see
No,
something?
so I didn't learn.
Guessed?
I didn't know anything about it. But when I started this in my parents' dining room, I said I'm going to franchise this business. And
Why
just
did
build
you
it
say
up.
that? McDonald's?
Because I like
Orange
the fact,
theory? Like
no.
what was on your radar? Like
I
take
like
me
the
deeper.
fact that you could bring a lot of great, smart minds together and build a very powerful brand. And I want to create this is what I said. I want to create a powerful movement that I could bring everyone together. Because if you know McDonald's, the dollar menu, the McFlurry, those are all started by franchisees. I don't have all the answers, just like you don't, and we can learn from each other. Everyone can learn from each other. But when you're allowed to surround yourself with great people, you could build things at a faster
So you
scale.
thought that was smart.
I thought it was genius. Mm-hmm. Yep,
The model of franchisees, franchisor.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's an American
Comes
true
with a lot
model.
of headaches, though. Listen.
Of course, one dope with a van can fuck you up.
100%. Look,
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, everyone thinks it's so cool. Listen, lay down on the road, let a car drive you over, go in reverse, drive you over, then you'll get a break for like 3-4 weeks. Lay down again, it's going to go over you again and back.
What was the hardest moment? So when did you start this?
I started this in 2008.
On some real shit. Because I want to bring real value.
Making payroll for almost 10 years, every single 2 weeks, I had to figure out how to make payroll.
I think you told me over lunch a scary one where you were like really...
Gee, I was in a casino.
Right. That's what, yes, you told me this.
I drove to a casino Do not do this. Do not do this. I didn't do it, but don't listen to me when I tell you now. So I'm in a casino. I had my life savings. I only had $5,000 left. And I was like, all right, I need 20 grand. If I could hit red, red's obviously our color, you know. I was like, if I could hit red,
then I'll have 10.
then I'll have
and
10,
hit red again.
and I'm going to double it, and I can make payroll.
So what happened again?
So I sat
somebody
there.
You called somebody. I remember you told me the story.
I called someone who's very successful, who's like been a mentor to me, and I was like, so you think this is a good idea? He's like, it's stupid.
Hey, I'm in Atlantic City. I need to make payroll. It's 20,000. I have 5,000. I'm going to put on red. Do you think it's a good idea?
He's like, Josh, it is the stupidest
Josh, you're the
idea
stupidest
ever.
fucker I've ever met.
He's like, but you got the biggest set I've ever seen in my life. You're crazy doing that. So, he loved it. And this guy's self-made, very successful.
So he loved it.
So I said, you know what? It's a stupid idea. So I went back to my office. Now, this is what I can't stand.
And you called everybody, right?
I called
remember this.
every single
I have a good memory.
client.
I'm proud of myself right now.
Gee, come on.
Thank you.
So I called every single client.
And a couple,
And I gave away over hundreds of free sessions and raised 46 grand overnight. Now, I couldn't take credit cards because I needed the money in the bank. So I literally I drove to everyone's house to collect checks. If you're listening to this and you complain and you're hanging out at home on the weekend, that's a problem.
Yep.
This is why people don't get to the next level.
This is that $6 coffee thing that I had to create clarity about the other day. I don't mind $6 coffees. I don't mind $70,000 pairs of sneakers. I get mad when people complain and do things that make no sense.
100%.
To me, this is just about complaining. If
here's
you
the
could go
problem.
buy a boat, a Rolex, or what have you, that means you have a peep of complaining. The
Listen.
second you go into complaining mode, I'm auditing the fuck out of you.
Gee, do you know how many DMs I get a day? And I don't have a lot. I'm still like in the early stages.
2?
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5. But anyway, I get DMs in a day. Oh, you want to grow your following? No.
Oh, yeah.
No. And people are like, why don't you want to grow your following? You should have millions of followers. Because it takes time. Half the stuff out there is fake.
Half?
Probably 90%. Gee, I heard there's a business now that you could rent a private jet, a car, and a whole setup for an hour to do a shoot to pretend like you own it.
Brother,
That's genius.
People have been doing that. People have been jumping fences to take photos that they're going on a private plane at scale.
Crazy. It's crazy.
We also live in a world where 22-year-olds are having plastic surgery.
I know. It's crazy.
All that people want to do is make pretend
Listen,
they're successful
you're
and
gonna love
happy.
this. You're gonna love this. This is great content. You know this tune? Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Okay, Mara Brothers, right?
Yep.
You can compare that to entrepreneurship any day of the week because you always get to live to see another day. But in some situations, I mean, you know, like you'll die, but you can start at a certain point because you got to a certain point and you can continue without having to go
You're
back
at like
to
3.1, even though you almost got to the end. They go bring you back.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you could take 10 steps back to move 20 forward,
Yeah.
and sometimes you take 5 steps
Yeah.
back to move 10 forward.
I'm more like up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, because that's unlimited lives.
I love it. Listen, I love it.
That's
I love
how
it.
my entrepreneurship works.
Look, man.
Contra, bitch.
Look, you know, it's funny, you know, you and I agree with so many different things, like school, for example. You know, I look back to school, look, like, I was a horrible student, horrible. Didn't excite me, didn't love it. And people go to college, they waste all their money. I think people should literally be working for people who've done it.
How old? I apologize for interrupting you.
I'm 36.
How old now? And so that means you started when you were 20,
25.
25. Talk to me about 20 to 25.
Oh, man.
Were you a knucklehead?
No, I was just depressed, man.
You were?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. You know, people were like driving around. See, you know, I had a rough life growing up, and listen.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Hyde Park on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
Rough life, you know, and but I don't. You can't make excuses, man.
No, I understand.
Whatever cards you're dealt,
You gotta
deal
play-
with them.
Listen, people win 3-7 offsuit all the time.
That's it. You just deal with them. You deal with them. And honestly, I wouldn't change a thing in my life because
What resentment did you have built up at that point? Did you want to be rich?
no. Listen, if you chase the money, you got a problem.
Agreed.
You cannot chase the money. I'll tell you that right now. So many people have it twisted and wrong. I've always wanted. I love fitness. I've always loved fitness.
Really?
Loved it. The problem is doctors and trainers are exactly the same. A doctor without patients, unemployed. Trainer without clients, unemployed. And I always say, how can I make money when I'm not working? Because you got to work on your business, not in your business.
Yeah.
I need to get paid.
So
when
you
I'm
were
not-
a trainer.
I was a trainer.
I see.
And people used to always laugh at me and look at you, Josh. You're working at the gym. You're a trainer making $10 an hour. And I
Did
didn't-
you like it
No, I loved it.
when they made fun of you?
No, I didn't care because I just said, you just wait.
Didn't hear.
No, I don't. I tune that stuff. Listen, I got a problem. It's my neck. I look this way only. I never turn back this way. You make a mistake, that's it. Someone's going to sue you. These are things that happen in business. People are going to sue you. People are going to lie to you.
What are you most excited about? Like right when you like now dream,
Yeah.
right? You've got this thing rolling a little bit. Like what
it's
do you-
rolling.
Yeah. What do you really? How do you think about what is? You know, it's funny when you said it was funny when you said you're obsessed with the Jets. It's really funny. I'm obsessed with chasing the jets.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how much I like process over.
Agree.
Let me give you an example. You know a lot about me, right?
Yeah.
You paid attention.
Oh, yeah.
You know anything about this? I mean it. Like, real talk. You know anything about it?
That I do not know.
That is the single biggest exit in the history of my life.
Wow.
That's a company called Resi. That years ago I started with Ben Leventhal. Then we brought over Mike Montero. It was incubated at VaynerMedia. It was part of the Vayner RSC fund that I had. We started it because I didn't want to just invest. I wanted to build. And Ben and Mike did an incredible job. I was on the board. There was a time when the company was struggling. I put personal money into it, real check for me at the time. And it exited to Amex within the last year, maybe 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, for hefty 9 figures.
That's great.
It is the single biggest win on my record.
That's great.
Nobody knows anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember why I said this. Oh, I like the process, not the winning moment.
I hear you, man. It's
Like-
funny. It's
like-
funny you say that because, I was telling some people, I'm going with Gary today, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's amazing, that's great."
He's so handsome. Like, what else?
Dude,
Did
they
they
were
say?
like, he's a
Go ahead,
stud,
go ahead.
his scruff looks great,
go ahead.
good hoodies. But I didn't look at it like that. Like, I really truly believe you and I are gonna have a good connection past this, and I got some big things like we'll talk off record. But I was just excited to just come here and just provide value and just look. I've always been about when I get a call from a woman who's 414 pounds. That couldn't have bariatric surgery, that was drinking 17 Slurpees a day, and all she wanted to do was have a family and have children.
Good for her.
And I personally changed her life.
Yeah, it's insane.
And she's 160 pounds, and she literally wants to get my name tattooed on her. She
so
calls
cool.
me once a month.
So
like,
nice.
I get emotional sometimes. It's
I
crazy.
get it.
Or like when someone's mom calls you up because their kid's being picked on because they have no confidence, and you help them. Like, that moves
Legacy.
me. Yeah, that moves me. And
love that.
I want to continue to do that because, look, in the fitness world, people are procrastinators. People can't turn on a machine. They can't open an app.
Dude, it's so unbelievable. Back to, you mean eliminating friction?
Yeah.
Listen, it's the half pregnant version. Your model is, I understand super well because I thank God can afford having a babysitter. Like the fact that in 2 hours, Mike Vacanti is coming here. By the way, I learned something about myself. I'm getting much better workouts in the evening than I am in the morning.
That's great.
So I've like changed that up a little bit, but like I needed a babysitter.
You need accountability.
Yeah.
Everyone needs accountability.
And you'll never believe this. Everybody who's listening, that's such a good point by Josh. And let me tell you about my accountability. I am not accountable to myself. I'm accountable to others. It's why I'm such a good leader.
Yep.
I think more about Jason and Dustin. Like I feel like I work for them for real. And once I figured that out with workout, I'm like, wait a minute. If I get a full-time trainer who babysits me, I don't want to let that. Literally, I'm doing well because I don't want to let Mike down. And the one moment in the last 6 years that I had a little bit of a flop, which was the back half of last year, it's because Jordan, my trainer, who kind of looks like you, by the way, Jordan, my trainer at the time, was burnt out. He was 3 years, he crushed. I mean, by the way, between soft tissue work and like, in a lot of ways, brought me, I don't want to say more, Mike and Jordan have transformed my life as going back and forth as my trainers, but what I asked them to do was impossible, which is, fuck your life. It's 100% my life. You travel on my schedule when I want, right? And he wore down. And as soon as he wore down and started like kind of like, I'm not going to travel with you on this trip, which led to not coming, like I'm sick. Like we both worn down and I 5.5 years crushed. I can't wait to look back at the content of mine from November and December of last year. Cause I know I'm like 15 pounds heavy. Like I'm already down 12 pounds. Like I just need a babysitter because because Jordan lost his way. I wasn't accountable to him anymore, which I lost. If you're trying for me, I'm accountable for you. And that's what I needed.
Yep.
And I think for a lot of people listening right now, I think the biggest reason that you're not eating well or working out is you're like me. You're not competitive with yourself. I've never wanted to beat myself in anything. People are like, oh, today I'm running. I'm going to run it faster today. I'm like, beat yourself? Fuck that. I want to beat somebody else. I want to be accountable to somebody else. Once I figured that out, it changed my life with fitness. I think I'm just saying that because I hope for one person, they figure out, oh, wait a minute, I can't afford a trainer that travels with me like Gary, but I'm going to buddy up with somebody and I'm going to be accountable to them 100%. And they're going to be accountable to me. I think I couldn't agree with you more. That's a really
100%.
great insight.
Yeah, and you said something that was golden. You said that you work for them. You know, I say that all the time. People don't understand that. Good leaders always create other good leaders. It's very important to understand. And at the end of the day, when you're like thinking that someone else is your employee. Like, I hate that word. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know if you're a fan of that word at all or not.
You know what's so funny? I'm really funny with words. I think we're in a hypersensitive America where people analyze words. I care about intent.
Yep.
To your point,
Yep.
I understand where you're going, and I appreciate it. For me personally, I'll use any word. I'm curious about action.
Action. Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
I'm thrilled to call Dustin my employee, but like how I treat him is like, also I think I put certain words on pedestals that are not how they're, to your point. I think we're saying the same thing.
EI.
And I think,
Emotional intelligence. I live by it.
it's the game.
100%.
What do we need to touch on before we get out of here? Because this all moves so fast. What have we not talked about? What do we have not touched on?
Listen, honestly, I think it's been pretty good. I think it's been pretty good. I think at the
What
end
do
of the
you, what do you, actually, you didn't answer this question because I probably cut you off because I'm good at that.
So am I. It's good.
What are you excited about in like 10 or 15 or 20? Like, what do you dream about now, right? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, let me ask you some fun questions. Do you think your company will go public?
Not sure.
Do you think you'll sell it?
Yes.
So you think more likely a private equity firm buys at a big scale?
But a minority.
Understood. So, okay, so you want to sell...
Listen, I've turned down a lot of money already.
I believe you.
And my wife.
You're going to get to the apex moment that you feel in your heart. Take some money off the board so you can feel that win.
My wife won't listen to this, so we're okay. But I've never even shared with her. If I share with her, she'll kill me. What I've turned down because I believe. You got to believe. If you don't believe, you're never going anywhere. You have to really believe.
The amount of people that sold too early is all time.
It's crazy. You got to believe. Everyone wants instant. There's no such thing as instant.
I was on CNN the day Instagram sold to Facebook for $1 billion, 500 days in the company, and I said that Facebook stole it. I got shit on. I'm historically correct.
You are.
There's nothing else to say. Now, who knows if they would have been able to scale that? I think Kevin was capable.
The reason people sell out is because
they want it.
Yeah, but the game is also so hard that people just walk away. And I was talking to a guy the other day. He walked away because he said he couldn't handle it anymore.
And by the way, I respect that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There really isn't.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to throw you for a real curveball. I will have no judgment against myself if I wake up one morning and say, you know what? I don't want to do this. I want to, I'm thinking about selling everything and just becoming a sports card dealer again because I'm really hot on it for a couple years. No, but I really think, to your point, we enjoy it.
Yep.
Like, to me, the second I don't like it is the second I'll be a DNF student.
You know what it is? Part of me, I love being against the wall. Part of me loves it. I don't know.
You know what's interesting that I'm curious if this is going to happen to you? I think the reason I've jumped around and done a lot of shit is I'm only most comfortable when I'm an underdog.
I love it.
I actually hate what's going on with Gary Vee. I'm a little bit scared of it. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to start getting overrated. With all the things that are happening, I feel like if I get into a place where I'm like, I'm starting a coffee brand and everyone collectively or the majority is like, oh, this is going to crush, I'm going to be in trouble. I have to that's why the sports card thing is so fun for me. Like, I know my inner circle and I know my community. People shitted on me quietly because now it's a little scarier to shit on me publicly because I've been right enough. But people were like, no way. And that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. I still got my hockey card collection, by the way, if you ever want.
Hockey's dead.
I know, I just love
hockey. I
hockey.
love the sport. Nobody gives
guy.
a fuck.
Yeah, but I'm a big hockey guy.
No, I get it. It's just not enough demand, supply,
No,
demand
I hear
issues.
you. I hear you.
Okay. Do you want to be a famous entrepreneur?
Well, I think that kind of comes with the territory as you keep growing.
There's people way bigger than me and Cuban and Damon John and everybody that nobody knows who the fuck they are. Do you like kind of the limelight of a winning entrepreneur? You like that?
To some degree. Also,
Does it scare you to admit more to the degree? Because I think a lot about this, right? Is it douchey? Is it narcissistic? I'm empathetic to it. Think it's an interesting question.
Here's what I think. I never include my family in anything. In social media, I'm not that guy. I worry about that. Sometimes I think about with you, like when you're out with your family and people are coming up to you.
You know what's funny? By not sharing it, people understand the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that I never share my life, my personal life, people are going to always say what's up, but there's definitely it's crazy. If I'm solo, it's I'm into in the right moments, it's Beatle I can't believe how many people who know who the fuck I am. But when I'm doing personal stuff and my kids, things of that nature, people do it different. They'll give you the wink. Like, whereas
That's
they'll
good.
take the selfie if I'm solo and come and like pitch me their idea or ask me a question or take a selfie. When I'm with them, it's more of like that respect, like wink, wink, because they know, like, fuck, I've never seen his kids.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true. I like that.
It's kind of cool. Like, some people don't, back to like who's going to jail. Some people don't have emotional intelligence and they steamroll. And then I'm not pissed. I'm actually empathetic, but I'm definitely not open to it. It's like the tire. Tyler showed me the tire at the wrong second.
Yep.
If you're gonna roll up on me and pitch your business without even asking when I'm holding my two kids' hands, there's a 100% chance that I fucking hate you.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you know, like,
I
like,
agree.
like,
I
like,
agree.
you know, but if you like kind of like, hey, do you have a second? I know you're with your family. Already I 100% love you. I'll still probably say no. It's like tact.
Yep,
It's
it
like
is.
tact. I still don't even, you know what's so funny? I don't even actually hate you 100% because I'm still so fucking flattered that anybody would want to ask me that I can never get away from that feeling.
Right.
But it's kind of like, hey, you know the score, like be kind. But I get it because you get excited and you think this is your only shot. I get it. I understand it. It still doesn't make me feel like my kids get upset.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They don't get enough time with me. So then like somebody pitching me is not like how they want to spend that Saturday afternoon.
Right.
So that breaks my heart. You know, it's just a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you something else. Well, look, my Gym Guys franchise family members is the number one who I serve. And the ability that I could bring people into my system, just like I changed what's her name's life, Donna,
Yep.
and everyone else, and I could help people run a successful business
it's the
model.
best.
That's the best.
Especially when like that to me is and it's the best because it's selfless and selfish. If you're doing that for Dustin as a franchisee, it's the best feeling and you're winning too, and that's okay.
100%.
I keep telling my friends, I'm like, I love making people happy and feeling good. I also want to fucking build an empire. You can do both. Right now we're in this world where you can't do both. It's crazy.
Build an empire.
I want to build an empire
100%.
in the nicest way of all time because the world's abundant. Your empire and his empire and his empire and her empire are not at the expense of my empire. Like, if you're good enough, you can't stop winners.
Can't
Stop them.
Can't. No way. If you're a winner, you're going to keep winning. That's it.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Josh York GG.
Josh York
GG.
GG. What's the GG?
Gym Guys.
I know.
Come on, man.
I'm
ABB.
trying to say
Listen,
that was Stockton to Malone. I know what the fucking
always
GG.
be branding. You need to if you're
it.
not I literally went to a conference recently. Everyone in the whole room, they all have businesses. I'm the only one branding. I was actually speaking.
Yeah.
I was the only one branding. Why are you not branding? If you that's an opportunity to talk about your company and get out to somebody else. You
Yeah,
got to always be
I
out
get
there
it.
branding. It's very important.
If you believe in what you're selling, there's nothing better.
That's it.
Thanks for being on, brother.
Thank you for having me, G.